There are two ways of determining whether somebody or something has power over you. The first way is that you are scared of disappointing this other person or this other group of people. Now, this other person might be your boss. This other person might be your husband or your spouse. This other person might be a friend. Might be your priest. Might be your doctor. Might be your lawyer. Might be your neighbor. Might be somebody who has something that you want, and by disappointing them, you will eliminate your chances of getting what you want. Now, sometimes the fear might be justified. Sometimes the fear might not. If you spend your time, and I would argue waste your life, fearing disappointing so many other people out there, you're scared to disappoint your doctor, and you're scared to disappoint your boss, and you're scared to disappoint your neighbors, and you're scared to disappoint your husband, and you're scared to disappoint your best friend, and you're scared to disappoint all these people. You are, probably inadvertently so, allowing these people to hold power over you. And so you have to ask yourself the corollary question. Are any of these other people that you're scared of, are they scared of disappointing you? So it follows from that question that you need to then ask yourself, how many times have you expressed your disappointment with any of these other people? So these people have disappointed you somehow. How many times did you then go out and show them in some way that they disappointed you? And what was the reaction? What was the response? Did they respond with remorse? Did they respond with an apology? Did they respond with regret and a statement that it'll never happen again? That they feel bad that this happened, and they're going to change their ways. They're going to change their behavior in whatever way it is not to disappoint you again. Is that the reaction that you got? Now, if so, that's fine. It might be legitimate. It might be okay that you're scared of disappointing them because the feeling is mutual. There might be some power back and forth going both ways, which would be a more amicable, a fairer, more equal type of relationship. Equal give and take, equal back and forth would be fine. But if you never express your disappointment with any of these people, and these people don't spend a second of their lives worried about you and whether you're going to be disappointed in them, that's the last thing they're going to think about is you and being scared of disappointing you somehow. While you're fretting your life away, worried about these other people, thinking about them, oh, what do they think of me? You'd be surprised at how little people actually do think about you if that's what you're doing. If you're that paranoid and you're putting that much thought and that much energy into worrying about what others think, they're probably not thinking about you at all. They're thinking about other things, and you're wasting your time putting these people up on pedestals they probably don't deserve to be on from a moral standpoint, but they probably don't even belong on from a power standpoint. You're making these people a lot more powerful than they are. Something to think about, and probably something to avoid. Don't be so worried about what your neighbors think of you, unless they are conversely worried about what you think of them, which would be ideal, but most relationships out there are very far from ideal. So you have to spend less time and less energy worrying about what other people think and worrying about disappointing other people, and look for the signs and look for the ways of expressing your own disappointment in others and seeing what the feedback is. If you get a positive feedback, if these people show that they care after you are disappointed, then you know that you might have a real friend, or you know that you might have somebody worth reciprocating in the relationship and worrying about them a little bit in kind. Because everybody likes a fair weather friend. If you're just going to go on somebody's YouTube channel, if you're just going to go in front of somebody or in the audience of somebody's giving a speech, and you're just going to shower them with praise, and you're going to type about how great they are, and oh, you're so honest, and you're so good, and I want to do business with you, and you have all the good ideas, and you have all the right answers, and and you're just kissing this person's butt left and right. That person probably isn't even going to reach out and talk to you. It's almost embarrassing to be able to talk to you. You're just debasing yourself. You're just folding up like a lawn chair at their feet. And they probably don't even know how to react to you even if they tried. You've done so much butt kissing that, they would be uncomfortable in your presence. They would be uncomfortable even trying to talk to you, which is really sad. And I see this everywhere. I see this all over the place on YouTube. It's people just debasing yourselves. You're demasculating yourself. You're just you're cutting yourself into pieces, kissing up to somebody or something that you don't even know, lionizing something that you don't even understand or somebody that you don't even understand, just heaping praise on top of people. And if anybody criticizes your idol that you're too busy worshiping, you'll attack them. You'll attack them with ad hominem. You don't know what you're talking about. It happens all the time. It happens to me. I can criticize somebody that I agree with because I'm not worried about whether I disappoint them or not. And I'm not worried about whether I disappoint any of their fans or not. I couldn't care less. But my disappointment will be based on truth, fact, and reality. I'm not going to exaggerate. I'm not going to be very careless and very thoughtless and just base my criticism on some ideology that I might happen to have, some type of a brainwash that I might have happened to subscribe to. I'm going to do critical thinking on my own, independent of anything else, and I might level some criticism at them at that point. I'm not going to worry too much. Now, if it comes to your boss and you're going to lose your job, and if you lose your job, you're going to lose your benefits. If you lose your benefits, you're going to lose your health care. You're already sick. You've got kids to feed. You've got a family to feed. You've got a mortgage to pay. You've got insurance. You've got, all the other bills. I can understand that. Your boss has power over you, and that's probably okay. That's probably all right. You pick your battles. Some people in the world, some people in your life are going to have power over you, and that's okay. You're going to have power over other people in your life, and that's okay. It might be okay. It might be okay. It might not. So this isn't just a zero tolerance proposal here. In fact, it's inescapable. Everybody out there is subject to somebody else. It doesn't matter who you are, how powerful you are. Donald Trump has to bow down at times to others when it comes to not wanting to disappoint somebody to get what he wants. We all do. It's unavoidable. It's just a part of the human existence, where we are hierarchical in structure. Every society is hierarchical in some way, fashion, or another. There's no ism that you can name. There's no ocracy that you can name that's going to be able to escape that. It's true with everybody. Now let's get into the second way that somebody has power over you and how you know that they do. Well, who are you not allowed to criticize? Who are you not allowed to criticize? Think about that. Now, how are you not allowed to criticize somebody? You might not be allowed to criticize the CEO of your company. And if you start sending emails about how badly the CEO of your company sucks, you start putting that out there, you're sending chain letters out there to various departments, all these other employees are reading it, you're going to learn that you're not allowed to do that. They're going to put a stop to that really fast. You might already be as good as fired. And if you don't get fired, you're going to get warned not to do that again. And if you do that again, then you will be fired. So for the same reason that it might be valid to fear your boss, that would be a related, but as opposed to the number one way to know someone has power over you, this is now the second way to know. And it might be legit. You might want to realize that you can't criticize that person and therefore not criticize them. You might. You might not. It might be legit, it might not. Again, it's a case-by-case basis, just like the first way. But I'll give you a real-world example of who I'm not allowed to criticize. I have a YouTube account and I have a BitChute account. I have over 900 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and I have no subscribers on my BitChute account. I just signed up like a few months ago. I think I don't know. I have like 6 subscribers on BitChute. Now, compare the size of YouTube with the size of BitChute. What's the ratio? How many people, how many users does YouTube have now? 700 million, 800 million, a billion people on YouTube? It's huge. I don't even know. I might be exaggerating. I really have no idea. Hundreds of millions of people are surely on YouTube. How many are on BitChute? It's very small, tiny, tiny. It's an infant. It's not even an infant. It's a zygote. It's not even that. It's a cluster of cells compared to YouTube. Okay, so you compare the size between one and the other, and you compare the size of my subscriber base compared to one compared to the other. I have a video on YouTube that I uploaded. It's public. It has no copyright violations. It has nothing visibly blocking it or reducing it, censoring it, canceling it in any way. Nothing appears on the surface that there's any kind of a problem. And yet this video has absolutely no views. It has no views. Now this here says it might have a couple of views or a few views, and those are probably me. Those 2 views are, I probably have 2 views. I watched the video once just to test, just to make sure that it works, just to make sure that it uploaded the same way that as I created it, that I thought it was going to look like. So that's just me doing a little bit of quality control to make sure that the video that I uploaded is the video that I think I uploaded. And then I may have watched it again a second time just to make sure that the thing still works. I check it again to make sure that there's no copyright violations or whatever. So this video has been completely blocked. Now why is that? Why is that? So what is this? Who is scared here? Now, I am obviously not allowed to criticize something or somebody, and it's not Michele Bachmann. Michele Bachmann, I mean, this is an old speech, and the point of the speech, and I was very clear about this in the video description underneath the video, that this speech is an embodiment of all politicians and their policy decisions, or their policy positions anyway, on how they want to treat the United States relationship with a certain foreign country in the Middle East, and the entire policy strata, the entire policy verse of the United States of America towards this country can be summed up in that one speech. So it has nothing inherent to do with Michele Bachmann. She's just incidental. She just happens to be the one giving the speech in this particular video. It could be a lot of other people too. I mean, it's easy to pick on people. You name it, I can post it. It could be Donald Trump. It could be Joe Biden. It could be Bill Clinton. It could be Hillary Clinton. It could be George Bush. It could be, you name it. Give me a name, and if there's a speech being made about United States policy or United States positioning on, towards this particular foreign country, it'd be very easy to do. And it all runs together and it all sounds exactly the same. Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter. It's the most bipartisan of all issues is the United States relationship with this foreign country. So I'm not allowed to criticize. Not allowed at all. I'm completely blocked, censored, canceled, shadow banned. I don't know what the word is, you name it, but this is ridiculous. Now, BitChute, again, I have no subscribers on BitChute. I probably already have 50 to 100 views already on this video by now. I'm not even sure. Dozens of views anyway on the same video. And, it's hard to get dozens of views right now on BitChute because there's nobody there. And certainly if somebody isn't subscribed to you, when your video goes live, it just so happens to be up near the top of the freshest uploads. Somebody just has to click on your video by chance. They just have to be at the right place at the right time and think that your video is just mildly interesting enough to be able to click on it and play it and view it. And that's basically all I get. Now I can throw up some tag, like 3 tags or whatever, hashtags, but I mean, other than that, and I don't even do that on I think half of the videos. I need to go back and add those in. I'm not careful enough to even throw those in. So on a tiny little website like BitChute with no subscribers, I'm getting, well, infinitely more views, because anything over 0 is infinity. It's undetermined, indeterminate. And mathematically speaking, you could argue that it's infinity. So I'm getting infinity more views on BitChute than I am on YouTube. That's pretty sad. I've spent a lot of time, spent a lot of work, raised a lot of subscribers, just thrown out a lot of praise for YouTube in the past. And I like YouTube. I want them to be successful. I want them to like me too. They don't. I don't know why. They seem to think that there are things that I'm not allowed to talk about, and they block me from being able to talk about it. And they are very critical, very eye-opening, very informative videos on saying, hey, watch this speech. This is going to explain U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East in a speech. They don't want other people to see that. I don't really know why. Is it just for the ears of the donors when somebody is giving you campaign contributions when you're running for president? And then after that, nobody else is allowed to see it because you're not running for president anymore? Giving people one way and one way only. Giving people one side of things and only one side of things. You're not allowed to look at any dissension. You're not allowed to look at any rebellious voices like mine to tell you what to think. Apparently that's not allowed. So this is suppression. This is suppression of free speech. It's sad. It's the state of affairs in the United States today. The government is actually saying, hey, corporations like Facebook and corporations like Instagram and I guess YouTube as well, obviously. You need to go out there and you need to control your people. You need to watch what they say and you need to tell them what they're allowed to say and what they're not allowed to say. So Facebook and YouTube are now the guardians of our First Amendment rights. And I think guardian is far too friendly of a term to describe what it is they're actually doing and how they're actually handling it.